You are listening to the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network. Visit pencilandpaperproductions.podbean.com to find more great podcasts.
Welcome to the Palace of Megapixels. This is Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo!
Everyone, and welcome to Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo. I'm your host, Stephen White. With me, as always, is my co-host, Lacey Finley.
Happy Monday.
How you feeling? I know you're a little...
Yeah, if I sound a little off, the allergies decided to, I guess, awaken within me in the middle of the night. Sometime after I went to sleep and woke up this morning. I mean, I feel fine, but it's like just my head's kind of like my sinuses are being a jerk today. But we'll get through it. So maybe I'll just sound like the sexy dulcet tones, nice and deep for you.
I mean, that's always the way it is. Once you transition spring to fall, there's always the allergies. They always kind of come in. It's no fun. So
the last couple nights, I just would rather burn everything green outside, which I know is not a good idea. But it's like times like this where I'm just like, you know what, all of you that are dropping whatever it is that's getting in my nasal area, go away. But
I've noticed
it is what it is. I do it every year.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of pollen alerts and things like that over the last week or so. And I think last week, I think it was Sunday, I woke up and my eye was puffy and I just kind of felt off and I was like, what is going on? And I was like, allergies. That's probably what it is, allergies. So I just took a few things and before I knew it, I was fine. I was like, well,
Yeah, I woke up this morning, slammed some stuff and did like that nose spray. And I was just like, so I can kind of breathe through it, but it wants to keep closing back up. But we'll get through it, man, because like I said, I feel fine. It's just, I might sound a little weird today.
Yeah, it's fine. It makes it unique and interesting.
There you go.
So what you been playing?
Let's see. What have I played this week? I played a lot of Beat Saber, man. There was one song that is a ranked song that I just badly wanted to get. And after 2 days of screaming and crying and cursing and stomping my feet like a petulant child every time I messed it up, I finally beat it once. So I've now done Overkill by Riot, which is a ranked song. And it wasn't pretty. It wasn't amazing looking. But I did enough of it that I passed the song and I got through it. So I'm very proud of that moment. And now my arm's kind of sore. I guess I missed a lot this week. But I also did play Headspun, which was the last of those three of the FMVs that kind of came out right close together. I haven't got through it yet. They've been having some issues with having some bugs. The videos were playing, though, so it's not the same one that I had mentioned last week that I had heard some people talking about. But there's just like some tiny little hiccups that I think, and again, I'll wait till they've patched it again to see if it was a hiccup or it was just a bad mechanic. I don't know, but like certain things just wouldn't seem to trigger, or if like as you're moving through the world, it's only partially FMV, and the rest of it's just like drawn and you're moving through and you're people who work inside this guy's head. Okay. So like you're literally the inner workings of like how his brain operates, and the main guy was in an accident or in a coma, you know, and so now like everything in there is on fire and not working properly, and you've got like a couple of you that are trying to get everything back up and running, you know. Almost all of the crew was killed. It was just like this dramatic, like there's like 2 of you that are left standing, 3 of you that are left standing trying to, you know, rehire people and get it all fixed up. And so I had spent some credits on getting some of the rooms fixed. And I don't know if it was a bug because I had too many rooms going at the same time, but the bar, I think it was, I was trying to get fixed. And it said it was only supposed to take like a couple days or whatever. Other things that I had started afterwards finished before it, and now I can't click on it or it won't finish, and it's like one of the gold objectives. So I don't know if I could get past it, so I kind of put it down and let it, because I do see them. They're very active on Twitter, the developing team. They're very active on their Steam discussions and everything. So like, I know that they're actively really working on this game, for the few things. So maybe that was one thing that I was unaware of. I should probably post it, but I hate doing that because it seems like somebody always does it first, and I can just kind of leech off of whatever the solution was. But so I'm not sure if I'm going to have to start the game over or if I have to wait for a patch for that or not. But the concept is really cool. It's fun when the two of them come into the same room. It's kind of almost like the good guy, bad guy, kind of good cop, bad cop situation. And that's when you're like working on him, if you will, like helping get his brain back together. The dialogue is very fun. The back and forth is very fun. A couple of little misspellings, which is just kind of like a small little for me, where I'm like, that could have been double checked maybe a couple of times and spelled that word properly. But I think once all that gets worked out, I think it'd be a lot more fun, but I'm not sure that I'm at a point where I can keep going. Like, I played for quite a while after when it was supposed to finish, and I just keep walking by, and it still has the construction tape over the room. It still has the sound like they're working on it in there, but well past when it was supposed to get done. So I will wait patiently and see if that is another bug that needs to get addressed. But that was pretty much all I ended up playing today. I tried to do a couple other VR games through the week, and like stuff was just going wonky with it. So I don't know if it's my system or the game, or I've just had a poop gaming week. I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Like everything wanted to break at the same time. But I mean, I got that song on Beat Saber, and I know there's like hundreds of raked people in the world that's like, oh, wow, final overkill, huh? Well, you know what? It's a big deal for me, and I'm proud of myself. I'm going to hold on to it, man. It's not an easy song. So, that's pretty much it, I think.
Okay.
Trying to think back on my week. I think that was it, yeah. Because I didn't pull the plug on the other two games yet. I'm going to wait for them to go on sale that I want to play.
Right.
But how about you? What you been playing?
Well, not as much as I would like. It's trying to manage time. I got a little bit more Days Gone time in. I don't really feel like I progressed in the story per se, just kind of explored. Did run into my first group of freakers, and that was not fun, okay? No? Because I wasn't sure how this was going to go, and I thought, okay, I've got this figured out. I could. No, I did not, because no matter what I did, I'm sure I died at least 3 or 4 times because they swarm you, and there's nowhere to go, and I'm trying to find every place imaginable.
They run pretty fast, right?
Yeah, and then you go there. Like, I even went into a building thinking, you can't get in here. No, they opened up every single door, and I was like, "This is what? Come on!" So there was no escape.
Rude.
Yeah. So I didn't know what to do.
Just gotta accept your fate at that point.
It made me mad because I was like, I'm trying to get this done. I don't know what more I can do, and they just overwhelm you so fast. And even if you try to take them out in small sections, you give yourself away, and they'll come after you. So I don't know what to do. So I think that was about one of the last things I did, and I was just like, all right. And then I got called away because, hey, I'm a grandfather now.
Oh, yes. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Little baby Rainbow.
Mm-hmm. Her name...
I like it.
Yeah. Rainbow. I mean, it's a nice nickname. I like it, too. But yeah, little baby Rose. I was in the middle of playing my game, and they were just like, "Hey, there's a baby coming." I was like, "All right, I'm coming." And then I go down there. And
I mean, like, after this, I'll finish it. It's not like the baby's going anywhere.
No.
Like, wait till I get to a save point.
It's like, I'll get there. It'll be fine.
Right.
But yeah,
they're not that pretty, fresh out of the womb. Anyway, go see them when they're cute, But
it's funny. It's funny you say that, because I would honestly say looking at my own kids and even her. I guess you have to have that connection.
Maybe.
It being your own, you look at them and you're like, oh, they're so dang cute. But yeah, I have seen other people's kids and it's just like, Wow,
you had a baby.
Yeah, look at that. It literally must be that.
Look at
It
you
literally
breeding
must be
and all
that. Yeah. So, but no, I found all mine cute and she's cute too. So it must be a genetic thing. You connect and just automatically say, yeah, that's a cute child.
Did they say like we like to run in circles like of ourselves, right? So if it looks like us, it's a spot of us. We're like, hey, this is a good thing.
Sure. But outside
congratulations.
of that, thank you. But outside of that, I was actually playing The Sims 4 this morning as we were kind of waiting. Yeah, and what's funny is I never think about the game. Like, I'm never just, like, eager to play it. But when I start playing it, I get sucked into it so hard. It's just the weirdest thing. I don't know what it is.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'd never take you for a Sims player. I mean, I've played it since its inception, but...
I mean, I will say that I did play... I've played it way back when, like, on the PC days, like, when it first came out on PC. I think my brother bought it because he had a PC, and then I would play it from there. And it was always kind of like, okay, yeah, I can kind of see where this is going, and I just kind of have a little fun with it. And then I think a copy of it came out on the GameCube, and that's where I really got into it. And because they did kind of a story mode where you could kind of...
I don't think I played that version, but...
Yeah, it's like you would live your life. You would live with your mom, and then you could eventually move into your own place, and you get a roommate, and then eventually you find your mate, and just on and on and on and on. So I always kind of like doing that, but I don't know, just playing just to play and just live, I've never really given it much thought, and I never really cared to do that. But for whatever reason, this one right here, I've been getting into it more. I guess because there's more to do, or they give you more options of things to do. So, like, I'm living... in the house, I'm trying to find a career. I'm writing, and and then 1 minute you're
you
cooking.
could be like a content creator in there now too.
Yeah, I've been playing video games. I've been doing all this stuff, and I was worried about money there for a moment, and then I finally wrote what they considered an excellent book, and my skill got up well enough that I could actually send it to a publisher as opposed to self-publish. So now I have an excellent published book in the world, so I'm getting good royalties from that, and I was like, yeah, all right,
beautiful.
So, and it's just weird. It's like I'm living vicariously through my sim. This is the life I want, and it's sad, but also satisfying.
Hey, I played it too, where I was like, now she's a streamer, and now I'm editing my own videos. I'm playing myself, editing myself, doing it. It's like Inception.
yeah.
But
yeah,
it's fun.
It's just really weird because, again, I never give it a second thought, and then when I play it, I'm in it, and I'm there.
2 hours have gone by. Like, what just happened? How am I still playing this?
But yeah, that's all I've been doing. So let's talk about some news.
Let's do it.
Really only got, I'd say, one big story, and then the rest is kind of
it's kind of been small story week. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, this is another story that I feel like we should be at a point now where we're not getting these stories, but they seem to be every week now.
Okay.
Because Twitch is such a classy place. I mean, there used to be a time where people could just be like, Twitch, yeah, Twitch is the place, and now it just seems like it's turned into a garbage fire. Because you may have heard about the amazing Fortnite streamer Tfue.
I have, in fact.
He rose to fame as an esports hero, and he continued to be this shining example of gaming awesome by being permanently banned from the Epic Games Store or the Epic Games site or whatever, because
something like that. Yeah,
he did some. He stole some money from what I hear. I don't know all the details.
Yeah, seems like there's a few little shady things floating around.
And then to top that off, he's continually banned from Twitch due to his use of racial slurs. Plus, who could forget his absolutely amazing catchphrase, "Suck my peen, dog"? That is class act all the way.
That really, I mean, swoon.
Yeah, sure. Now, what has him in the news now, yet again, is, big surprise, yet another racial slur. All this captured on video for the world to see and hear, so there is no doubt in your mind. What did he say? He clearly said the N-word. Now, if you listen with intent on how this kind of came out, you can tell without question he realized immediately after
instantly
fell out of his mouth that he screwed up. So then he kind of diverts.
It's that nervous where they just won't stop talking now as like a distraction kind of thing. Like, oh, crap, I messed up. Let's keep talking about, this really great play.
Yeah, and then just tried to shift the conversation to something else. And, I found this thing over here. And what was funny, I think, about the whole video is that guy in the background. He was like, "Oh my God, I need this."
Yeah.
So anyway, the proof is out there. It's out there on the internet. Even though
he delete the VOD, I saw I heard later on. Even though the internet never forgets.
No, the clip is still out there. There's a Twitter feed of the video. It's out there. It's not going anywhere. So while the world has proof, and you know that this is explicitly against Twitch community guidelines, they are refusing to say anything about it. Why? They claim it's because they don't deal with small streamers. But this guy is literally their second largest streamer on the platform.
Yeah.
And it's widely...
Wait, they said they don't deal with smaller streamers?
Well, they don't deal with... I think they said solitary, single streamers. I think they said they're only dealing with teams, which it's a BS. Yeah, whatever the excuse was, it was BS regardless. But he's literally one of their largest streamers, and many people assume the larger streamers get preferential treatment, and this is not dissuading that argument otherwise, because it clearly looks like he's getting... treatment.
Well,
treatment.
everyone kept saying it was the women streamers who are getting preferential treatment. So let's see what they say about this one then now.
Yeah, exactly. Because they have said nothing. As of this recording, they have said nothing.
Nothing ever happened.
Nope.
Huh?
He's not been banned. He's not had any strike. Nothing. And he's literally on his last strike. If you go by how many times
this was a couple times now, right? Yeah.
So I guess they're trying to decide, since they lost their largest streamer not that long ago, is it viable for them to lose one of their bigger ones right now? Is it going to help them at all? And that's greed.
To save face, yes. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't expect anything to actually come of it.
But it's ridiculous. You cannot have these guidelines and then just choose who gets to follow them and who doesn't.
Oh, it's blatantly saying, unless you're making us a certain amount of money, then it doesn't apply to you.
Mm-hmm.
Or reverse that. You know what I mean?
I honestly feel like if this is the continuation of how they're going to run their business and that platform, then if they fall under and Mixer becomes the hot spot right now, well deserved, because again, dumpster fire. That's what's happening right now.
I mean, I don't see these little things like taking it down anytime soon. It's still such a huge behemoth of a thing, and people are just going to keep calling them out on it, and whether they want to answer that call or not, I mean, it's starting to it's been plenty of time now to have some sort of response.
Yeah.
Even if you were just going to slap one of those piddly 2 or 3 day bans on it to make yourself feel better, but it doesn't seem like even that happened.
No. So
where they give the illusion of doing something really fast. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But they didn't. But take a look at that guy the other day that we mentioned last week about the baby powder and the butt and how quick he got banned. Oh,
instant. Yeah.
Yeah. But not this guy.
Like, he didn't even get to finish the stream, right?
No. But not this guy. Not this guy. So, classy places all the way. Twitch, you're amazingly terrible. All right, I'm gonna move on because I could
it's
argue about
it's
this all day.
disgusting, and the almighty dollar just seems to keep ruining too much here lately.
Oh yeah, for sure. The next story we're going to break down is the Nintendo Direct that happened this week since Nintendo decided to drop a huge Direct. And I got to say, what I love about these is they're either underwhelming or insanely packed. It's either one or the other. You never get like, there was that one little thing. It's like, hey, there's an update to a game, and you're like, woo. Or games in your face. So this one was packed. That's why we're going to break it down. First, I'm going to break down just kind of the ones we've heard about. We've already gotten kind of an idea of. They showed a little bit more of Luigi's Mansion 3, more gameplay footage. I think most revealing out of that was a new area called Scream Park, which seems to be kind of a party mode for up to 8 players. So I guess that would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't have that many friends, bitch.
Sure. I mean, we always have that problem, right? So I guess that's cool. And, I'll be honest with you. I really enjoyed Luigi's Mansion, like the original one. And I would love to think that this is going to be just as good. But I feel like all these extra additions are just going to take away from the core mechanic gameplay of what it's supposed to be or what it was. And it maybe will kind of lose its luster. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I really did enjoy the first one. I would love to play this. Should I ever get a Switch? Which
I know. That's
don't
my
know if
doubtful.
that'll ever happen. I really don't know. Not. The more I think
there's not been enough like first party stuff that's really made me feel like I want to buy one.
Mm-hmm.
I love all the games that are getting ported over, but I have them.
Yeah.
On PC, and I can't justify just to be able to take it on the go because where do I go?
And I think that's the only thing that I would actually buy it for is that on the go.
Yeah.
But do I stick with the Lite that they have now and then risk not being able to play certain games because I went with the handheld mode, or do I just fold in for the other one and just use it as my portable device? I don't know.
I mean, honestly, that's what I would do. Like the price difference just seems so minuscule to like keep it from being console also.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know.
But
I just there are games I want to play on it, but I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. And I already have a lot of games to play, and I don't want to add to that. So I'm just kind of...
It's not like we're a lack of games.
No, I just feel like I mean, a lack of games is why I bought a PlayStation in the first place. That was their downfall with the Wii U, is I was like, I have nothing to play. So I want to play games, and then I got a PlayStation, and now I have too many games. So I don't know. We've had this argument before, this discussion. Yeah, I don't know where I stand on. I do want it, but I also am kind of like, eh.
Like, if it was given to me, that would, like, I don't know, solve this issue.
Yeah, exactly. I would take it as a gift.
Give it to me so I can quit agonizing over this already, okay? Thank you.
I will gladly take it as a gift.
Right.
Then I won't feel guilt.
Exactly.
I think they showed new footage for Animal Crossing New Horizons, but really nothing... I didn't feel like they were honing in on something new or a new feature or new anything. It was just like, hey, this game's still coming. Woo! Next year.
Looks adorable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's one of those Sims type games that you can kind of get lost in, and you don't.
I could see me getting into that game. I mean, I've never played it, but I watching videos. I could see that being one where I'm like, I got nothing to do for a little bit. This would be adorable to waste some time.
Sure. And I feel like, again, I don't really know all the features that are being added to this, but compared, like the very first one was so basic and simple. And I could see where I got bored with it after a while. I was like, all right, all I'm really doing is just selling stuff, going fishing, collecting stuff, selling more stuff, paying off my house, and then doing this stuff again. I'm not doing anything, just, meandering.
It's interesting what we find fun, right?
Yeah, it was just like, at first it was like, oh, this is kind of cool, especially the day and night cycle, because it would follow on the actual clock of the day. So, you could see different things throughout the day. People would show up at certain points in the day. So that was kind of neat just to kind of experience this living, breathing world that worked off of an actual clock. But over time, it's just like, okay, I've seen it. But
Right.
if they would give you things to do, things to achieve, not just paying off your house, but let me build this town in a way. Let me do things to really make this place pop. What can I do to make this place something amazing? And again, I don't know what they've added. I know that there was one where you could be the mayor. Maybe same thing here. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
But they have their charm. The next thing, which I found to be very interesting, was a new, I guess it's I know it's not Nintendo's label, but it's still one of their games. It's like exclusive to them. Super Kirby Clash. I guess this is going to be a new mobile game, but it's I don't know if it's a mobile. It sounds like it's a mobile, but it also, I guess, could be for the Switch. But it's what they call a free-to-start game, which means it's free to download and play for a little bit, but then you're going to have to pay money.
Oh. Like a demo. Can we just call it a demo?
I mean, yeah, that would be the right way to go about it. But, I mean, are we talking about, like, if it's going to cost money after the fact? Is it like popping in quarters every time you want to play it, like an arcade machine? Or am I going to just have to play?
Like it's not clear whether I could just buy it or microtransact the crap out of it? Okay.
Because the way that sounds, that's what it sounds like. Like you're just going to continue to charge me to play it. And no. I'm not doing that.
Right, yeah. I'm not going to keep... Yeah, no, that's...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. People do pay monthly MMO fees, so I don't know. Like, it's not, like, the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But
Sure, but I guess I would have to see what...
I used to be one. I don't know.
I'd have to see what kind of game it actually is to justify that.
Right.
So, we'll see. Divinity Original Sin 2 is now available on the Switch via a definitive version or definitive edition version that comes with the base game and all of its DLC for $50 and even features cross saves with the PC version. So if you've got a PC version and you want to play it on your Switch, now you can do the cross save thing and there you go.
Beautiful.
I think the next two were the biggest surprises out of the direct announcements as far as games no one expected to happen. Deadly Premonition Origins, which is a new version of the original game. And I remember hearing, I think this week, Jim Sterling was like jumping for joy.
Yes.
Because he was like,
dude,
I did it.
Loved Deadly Premonition. Yeah, I know. Good job, Jim Sterling. I won't steal that from you if in fact you were the one who did it. But oh my God, I was so surprised. Anyway, I'll let you finish your thing because I don't know if I'm going to
No, go ahead.
Story.
Go ahead.
I was just, when they said that a sequel was coming, I actually jumped for joy. Like, I was one of the small percentage of people who really enjoyed the first game and all of its wrecked, buggy, horrendous glory. It was definitely so awful. It was amazing.
And there's
it was a
nothing
good
wrong with
game.
It. Yeah.
But yes, Jim Sterling is correct. Everything about it was broken and nothing worked the right way. Like, it was just such garbage, but it was just so good. I think I heard a YouTuber call it The Room for video games.
Which wouldn't
like
be
the
all
movie
that
The Room.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's actually, yes, exactly it.
But yes,
I'm so excited. I'm going to play it for sure.
Yeah, the sequel, Blessing in Disguise, will release sometime in 2020. I am assuming it will be on other platforms, and they just took this opportunity to announce it because nothing about it said exclusive to the Nintendo Switch. Like, I watched the trailer for it.
I kind of hope not.
Yeah, nothing like that was said. So I think they were just taking the opportunity while they were there promoting Origins to just say, hey. But Origins is available right now, if I'm not mistaken. So you can go play it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
it's wonderfully horrible.
I do think it came out on the PlayStation 3, right?
I think so. I mean, I played it on a PC port, so
Okay.
it made it even worse.
Oh, God.
It didn't even port well.
So, I mean, I think I think I got it as part of the
So
where their
janky.
PlayStation Plus free games. It was one of the games, and I thought, And then I started hearing about the terribleness of the game.
So bad.
So I thought,
Yeah.
okay, well, let me check it out. It might have been one of those that got fell by the wayside because transitional 3 to 4, and I never finished it. But I do remember playing it, and I was like, this is really weird.
Oh, I broke it so much because like there's one mechanic in the game real quick. I know one mechanic in the game where like the main character, you're supposed to like get his clothes washed, shave his face, like just general hygiene or whatever. And I refused it. I just didn't do it because these little flies would start flying around you, like the filthier you got. And I wanted to see just how many flies I could create, and
Right.
I think I broke it because like it started to glitch and lag so bad from just the sheer volume of flies that kept happening, and he looked so disgusting. But the cutscenes were amazing because I just be talking to somebody and there's this massive cloud of flies around him. It just was so amusing to myself. But I mean, part of the reason why it broke was probably my fault. I probably should have bathed the main character. Quit
Hey.
spotting flies.
They gave you the option not to do it, so you took
It
advantage.
was amazing. I just was like, I'm not gonna get bothered with cleaning his suits and shaving his face. We're just gonna go right on in.
So my big question here, I guess, with Origins is, did they fix all the bugs, or
I
did
have
they
no
leave
idea.
some
I
of
hope
them in?
not.
So
I hope not, because part of its charm was just how badly it was put together.
What else we got? There was a game called Tokyo Mirage Sessions. It was a 2015 Wii U title. They're going to port it over. Like so many other Wii U games that seem to be lost through time, they keep porting them over. Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed Rebel Collection, which is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag and Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered, will release on December 6th for the Switch. Devil May Cry 2 was announced for the Switch. Doom 64 will release on the Switch this year, which I remember. Did I have that game? I may have had that game. I don't remember. I feel like I had
know
that
I
game.
did not. Yeah.
I feel like I
Doom
did.
was not my style.
It was all right. I was in a Doom kick, and any time I could get a new Doom game, I was there. And then I lost track of it over time until recently. So yeah, it was pretty fun. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, which is a remake of the 2012 Wii title. I recommend this to anyone who has a Switch. This is a game.
Oh, yeah.
If you've listened since the beginning, I've talked about this game several times, singing its praises. It's one of the only JRPGs that I really got into so much that I played well over 100+ hours. Just
Oh, wow.
continue, because I think this is one of the games that I mentioned the music back in our music episode. One of the tracks that kind of sucked you in, and it was funny. I'm not really promoting per se, but maybe I'll slight cross promotion. There's a podcast out in the world, and if you love video games as much as we do, you may want to go check it out. It's called How Did This Get Played? And they were actually talking about an RPG, I think this past week on their show, and they mentioned the overworld music, for an RPG, and if it's bad, and you're going to have to hear it time and time again, bad overworld music just kills the
And
entire...
you can't really turn it off, right?
No. So once you have that bad music, you're just stuck with it, and it just ruins the entire experience. So the overworld music has to be good. It has to be gripping. It has to be intense to kind of keep you sucked in. This is one of those games where that overworld music keeps you in. Like, no matter where you go, you're in. So I love
I'm one
this
of
game.
those weirdos that always likes turning off the music in games, though, for the most part, depending on which one it is. If it's something I'm spending a lot of time with. But
Well, it depends. Yeah. I
if
would
it's
say
the
it
same
depends.
thing, like looping, I start to lose my mind. I found a trick on the PlayStation, though, that if you
Okay.
turn on Spotify,
Yes.
mute Spotify, and then go into the game, it took out the music, or at least it did for me on Persona 5. Because as great as the Persona 5 soundtrack is, for hours at a time, it's still the same damn song.
Sure.
And so I couldn't do it anymore, and it muted the music. The voice was still there and all that kind of background noise, sound effects.
Interesting.
But it took out the music, and I was like, score. So I don't know if that's something that works on all of those. If you're just like, damn it, I want to play this game, but I really wish I didn't have to hear this anymore, and they don't have a volume slider for music.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
See, the only thing I have wrong with the Spotify thing, like I love using it depending on what I'm playing, like Far Cry or Grand Theft Auto, something like that, where I know I'm going to be exploring a world and having some music to kind of go along with it. It's kind of nice having a soundtrack.
Yeah.
And I think when I was playing The Witcher 3, I had a playlist for that, of all things, and it was just music that really kind of intensified the fights and the world building and stuff like that. But you have to mute the music within the game, and sometimes the music within the game would be muted all throughout. So there would be this cutscene. I remember there was like a dance or something like that, and so Geralt and whoever he was with at the time was dancing, and it was like, where's the music?
Like, now I've made it awkward.
Yeah, so it's just like them quietly dancing to nothing. It's like, oh, okay, this is
well,
great.
you could have just made it like, now look how romantic. They're just dancing to their own song.
Yeah.
You could just like really turned it into something mushy, maybe.
But I felt like I missed out on something, even if it was just a little sliver of music. It just felt
maybe.
So, yeah. Anyway, Xenoblade Chronicles happening. I think another big announcement that people may have been excited for, Overwatch was officially announced.
Yeah.
Coming to the Switch. So, woo for Overwatch.
Yeah.
I guess.
I'm a little surprised. I think they said, only 30 frames per second or something that it'll run, but I can't imagine really needing much more than that, but I don't know. I didn't know Overwatch was still like that big to port it over, but congratulations if you were one of those waiting for it and now you can play it.
Sure. And not to be mean or anything like that, but we're talking about the Switch. They're getting a lot of games late in the game, so it's fine. Anyway.
But they are getting a lot of games.
They are getting a lot of games.
Like, it's kind
They're
of
trying
insane.
to catch up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the last few things that they announced, which I felt like I would kind of save here, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. They released Banjo-Kazooie immediately upon his announcement, so people were wondering when that was going to happen. It's out now. He's there, or they are there. So you can go play Banjo-Kazooie right now. But I think the biggest thing was the DLC character that they officially announced was not what people were expecting. It was Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury. And some of you may be saying, who? Exactly. Who? Unless you're familiar with Fatal Fury, who is a good question. Because this actually destroys some of the rumors we've had over the last few months of who may be coming next. However, they did confirm that there are more characters in development, so some of those characters may be coming down the pipeline. And then to add to these announcements, it was also revealed new costumes were going to be available immediately for like 75 cents a pop, patterned after characters from other games like Mega Man Staples Zero and Proto Man from Mega Man X and the Mega Man original series. Then there was Pokemon's Team Rocket. You had male and female costumes. Mystical Ninja's Hero Guaemon, which him along with Zero and Proto Man, they should have been like real characters in the game, not costumes, which disappoints me to no end.
Yeah.
But most exciting for some, and I actually feel like this is where one of our previous rumors came from as a DLC character, is a costume of Sand from Undertale. Because we had said that there was an Undertale character coming, but it wasn't this character. It was somebody else. So I think this is where it kind of got muddied in the water. People were like, oh, there's an Undertale file of some sort. But it was a costume. But it's a pretty legit costume, which I think kind of gives it a little bit of credibility. There's an actual mask. It looks like the guy. So they might as well have just made the
last
guy.
night.
Yeah.
It does look cool.
But that actually comes with a special arrangement of the song Megalovania, which is composed by the creator of Undertale, Toby Fox. So that's kind of a neat little side with that. And finally, the biggest announcement, I think, for anybody who's been wanting this, is Nintendo announced that Super NES games were now available on the Switch. Now, there were 20 games that were launched alongside the announcement. Some are the usual, like, oh yeah, I could see that. And then others were a little bit more surprising. Like you get your Super Mario World, your Super Mario Kart, your Zelda, Link to the Past, Super Metroid, Super Mario World 2, Star Fox, F-Zero, Pilot Wings, Kirby's Dream Course, Kirby's Dream Land 3, Breath of Fire. The others that were unique, there was Stunt Race FX, which was actually available for the first time since its release on the Super NES. So no one has seen this until now, like for 20 plus years. There was Brawl Brothers, Demon's Crest, Joe and Mac 2, which is a very obscure game that I was surprised anybody.
I don't even know it.
Yeah. This is like two cavemen. It was like a long time ago. I don't know why they chose that one of all things.
I don't know, yeah.
Super EDF, which is the Earth Defense Force game. We've seen sequels of that still running now. Super Ghosts and Ghouls, or Ghouls and Ghosts, which is a favorite of mine, even though it's hard as... it's so hard. Right. Then there are 3 others. 2 that were also not available since its an initial release on the Super NES, which is Super Soccer and Super Tennis, which I don't really feel like anyone was really, clamoring for. But I'm just saying.
Tennis was kind of fun.
Yeah, but I mean, And then Super Puyo Puyo 2, which is available for the first time in the U.S. So it's...
I was going to say, never heard of that either.
Yeah. So if you've never played it because you lived in the U.S., but you've always wanted to play it, now you can. The name sounds familiar, but I could not tell you what it's about. Like, I know I've seen it in passing, like, it's a Puyo game. So, yeah. Along with this announcement, Nintendo has stated that they are no longer going to be releasing their retro games on a fixed monthly schedule like they had been. They were releasing 2 a month, saying like, hey, this is what your games are going to be for this month. Now, they didn't say why they were continuing the practice or how exactly they plan to release them, but they did promise more games are coming. But I am curious why they are stopping, because it just seems like it's an easy practice. You just say, okay, this month you're getting this game, and this game is coming out next month, and this game. So you're just going to lump them out, at one set time, just say, here's a bunch of games, enjoy. Just seems kind of weird,
Yeah.
I mean, granted,
I don't know what the reasoning behind that is.
I mean, the 20 games you got here for the Super Nintendo, it'll keep you busy for a while, I get that, but still, just,
yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Plus, and we'll probably be talking about this next week, Nintendo has a new peripheral coming out that they haven't really expanded on. They just kind of sent out this video. It looks like some sort of exercise thing. So they're gonna talk about it at TGS. So we'll talk about it next week when we know more about it. But yeah, they're back into the fitness game, baby. Let's talk some Quickets.
Excellent.
Because I got some Quickets. Okay, so while we were talking about TGS, Sony revealed their lineup of games to be showcased at Tokyo Game Show, and I don't feel like there's anything there that anyone would be surprised about. Capcom's Project Resistance, which we still assume is a Resident Evil game. I really hope, I know I'm probably going to be wrong, but I really hope it's not a Resident Evil game, because everybody is just under the assumption. Everybody is already saying it's Capcom's
This is all Capcom knows how to do.
Yeah. This is Capcom's new Resident Evil game. They have not said that. I know there's the percentage is very high because of the RE thing. If they hadn't done that.
I was just going to say, like, is that legit from them? That wasn't like a fan created thing, right?
No, this
like
is
the RE. So it probably is.
Yeah. But there's just a part of me that wants it to be something completely different.
I see your point.
Because everybody just thinks they know. It's like, this is the new Resident Evil. But they're not calling it that. They're just saying Project Resistance. But I know. Anyway.
I know.
They're also going to be showing stuff for Neo 2, Death Stranding, Gran Turismo Sport, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Dragon Ball Z, Kakarot. That's it. And Sega's new Yakuza title, plus the Final Fantasy VII Remake. So, things we already are aware of.
Yeah.
I'd like one. I think everybody should at least bring one thing they haven't announced yet, just to be like, here you go. There's a new cookie for you.
Some sort of hype,
Yeah,
like
sure.
something new.
It was mentioned this week that Death Stranding will have a very easy mode for movie fans. So essentially,
so you just like want to watch the story.
Yeah, and you don't want to deal with the gameplay. No, you can just scoot through it. Which,
I feel like a few story-heavy games have been doing that, like a cinematic mode. They call it easy. Yeah, you don't really want to challenge; you just want to enjoy the story. So I can respect that.
There was I think it was Metroid Other M on the Wii. I think that's right. They did, like, if you beat the game, you could actually go back and rewatch the entire thing in a movie mode. So it would play from beginning to end, all the cutscenes. And even if you were transitioning from scene to scene, they would just use a little bit of gameplay to get you there. And then just kind of keep going. So essentially,
that's cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really neat. It created like a 2 to 3 hour movie or something like that. It was really awesome. And it's kind of like a nice little
game again?
Metroid Other M.
Okay.
Because they kind of really kind of made it heavily cinematic in a way. Mm-hmm. So I really enjoyed how they did that because it's a nice bonus. It's got a great story. If you want to go back through the story, really don't want to play the game, there you go. You got it right there. The creative director of the yet-to-be-released Ghostwire Tokyo left Tango Gameworks unexpectedly after 9 years with the company, saying she felt that this was one end of a journey and even openly offered for people to contact her if they would be interested in working with her, which left the whole thing feeling kind of odd. Because it kind of feels like she was fired, but she wasn't fired. She left. Maybe she was being forced out, and I don't know.
Yeah, it seems weird because it seems like there's plenty of sides saying, "Oh, this is normal. It's fine. Things like this happen. There's nothing going wrong," and then plenty of people who are like trying to set fire to the whole thing. It's like I don't know what to think because I mean, did we have like a big Halo guy that just left too from that?
Yeah.
So it's like maybe it is a normal thing and everything will be just fine with the game.
Sure,
people get different jobs.
But I mean, being the creative director of a game does kind of leave you wondering where the game now stands.
Well,
because they're like,
that's fair.
Crap.
Yeah.
So, as far as we know, there was no announcement that the game is going to be delayed because of this departure, but we'll see. I'm sure we can update if we find out.
Right.
Dave Bautista will soon be a playable character in Gears 5. Also,
kind of fun.
Yeah. Also, I heard Gears 5 ruined Xbox Live yesterday,
did it?
Over the weekend, let's just say that. Yeah, it was apparently so popular it just crashed your servers, so good way.
Oh, they were trying to download it at the same time or whatever.
Good job, funny. People. Multiplayer was announced for the yet-to-be-released Cyberpunk 2077. Are you excited about that?
I wonder what that is.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm never really that excited about a multiplayer mode.
I am not either.
Like, I'm just...
If I had a good group of friends to play multiplayer with, and the multiplayer would be engaging enough to make it worthwhile, I think I would be more inclined. Like, Monster Hunter made multiplayer fun for me to want to do.
Well, yeah, that's fine. That's cooperative.
Yeah, exactly. Cooperative.
I don't like PvP. PvP makes me so angry.
Like, I think one of the first times that I did some real multiplayer was Dying Light. And that was with, and I played with Todd at the time when we both had decent internet. And it was cooperative. So wherever he was in the story, wherever I was in the story, we would just, you go do your story mission, I'll tag along and help you out, and then vice versa. And I like that, Yeah. I enjoy that kind of gameplay. I don't want to, I don't know. I feel like when you compete with your friends, unless you can make it a fun thing, it just becomes this hassle. Yeah, I just don't want to deal with it.
I just don't like other people who like to be killjoys, who just walk over and ruin what you're doing because they think it's hilarious. I'm like, I just want to play the game. Can you leave me alone?
just piss off.
So I'm not really excited about that. But as long as it's an elective, then I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
You want for those who want multiplayer.
Right. The recently released Astral Chain was review bombed for being a Switch exclusive. Good.
No, is that where we're at now?
Yeah, apparently. And the developer is Platinum Games. They seem to be doing a little bit more business with Nintendo than other people, but it's not to say they haven't released games on other platforms. It's just I think they have a nice little cozy deal with Nintendo, and that was just one of their games they were going to put out on the Switch.
People do it for PlayStation and stuff like that all the time. Yeah. So, like,
get over it. Exclusives are a thing. Nintendo
they want
needs
you to buy their console, people. Like,
yeah.
That's the hope.
But clearly this is where we're at now, because no one can have an exclusive game of any kind on their console ever. No. Epic's ruined it for everybody.
Well, I don't think they started it, but yeah, sure. But exacerbated
now
the situation.
Everybody's like, exclusives, hell, that's not happening. More Avengers promo material has been released showcasing a secret Empire-inspired Captain America outfit, as well as Hulk's second alter ego, Joe Fixit. Now, if you don't know who Joe Fixit is, it's a really interesting thing, and this is something I want them to do in the MCU movies. I just make it happen. You've already made him smart, and he's talky now, which I personally just have a problem with. I don't know why I have a problem with it. Like, narratively speaking, in that movie, I get it. I know that he's been smart in the comics. Like the Hulk has been smart and talky. But I think I just like my Hulk mean and just rah, smash. I don't know why.
I need my original Hulk man.
Yeah, I just prefer that Hulk. I want him to go smashy, smashy. I feel like he's more dangerous that way and more intimidating that way versus, hey, I'm a smart Hulk now.
With wearing glasses and big all.
But anyway, Joe Fixit, I'm going to try to break this down as easy as I can. There is a Green Hulk and there is a Gray Hulk that is Bruce Banner. Now, initially when the character was created, he was gray, and it just didn't look right on the page to the publisher. And they were like, no, let's make him green. It'd pop. So in the next issue, he was green. And it was just like, we won't talk about it anymore. Like we just sweep it under the rug.
Gloss right over it.
Yeah. But later on, somebody decided, hey, do you remember that time he was gray? Let's bring that back. Let's bring that concept back. So the Gray Hulk is a slightly smarter Hulk, but he's also kind of a dick. So he can talk, but he's not as strong as the Green Hulk. But he is strong. He is still big. So he's kind of a jerk Hulk, so to speak.
Okay.
And Bruce kind of goes in and out like between the two, the green and the gray. It just depends on whichever personality comes out. So it's like a split personality problem. But the Gray Hulk actually tried becoming a mob boss and took on this persona of Joe Fixit. So he's in a suit and hat and everything. So he's like this big enforcer type looking guy.
Okay.
And it was a very interesting storyline. So I would love to see them kind of play with that in the movies, just because.
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah.
Because it'd be something new, something different.
For sure.
Anyway, that's not video game related. I'm just speaking. But yeah, the costume is there.
Whatever.
So if you want to check it out, Hulk, Joe Fixit, Avengers. Ubisoft's their game subscription service, Uplay Plus, is now available for anybody who wants to go play some Assassin's Creed and Rabbids and Assassin's Creed
Dance,
and Just Dance and Assassin's Creed
1 through 10.
Yeah. The Legend of Bumbo, the prequel to the indie hit The Binding of Isaac, will release on November 12th. I lost interest in The Binding of Isaac pretty quick. I couldn't get into it.
When it gets super brutal, like I could do those in small doses. Yeah. Very small doses.
Yeah. I love a challenge, but there's a point where I'm just like, all right, I'm done.
Well, I'm wondering, am I having fun anymore or just torturing myself?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
usually where I land.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've been mad for an hour. Am I really enjoying this, or do I need to walk away? Yeah.
If you can't enjoy it, it's not... A game is supposed to be fun.
Right.
Days Gone will receive an update this week, adding New Game Plus and 2 additional difficulty levels. So if you want to brutal yourself up even more there, you can do that, and you can have twice as many freakers, I suppose, or whatever. DLC for the indie darling Celeste also will release this week. So if that was
Okay.
that's another game I want to get to and play
Eventually, yeah.
I gotta get there. And for some reason, Fallout 76 is going to add another Battle Royale map. Are people still playing that game?
I have heard nothing about it in so long. I
know.
almost forgot.
So,
I haven't even heard anyone complain about it.
Yeah, it just kind of got swept under the rug.
Well, maybe those who hated it finally just decided to move on, and those who love it, people who like things tend to not talk about it as much. It's only the people who are angry who post about everything.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
I mean, Anthem did take the heat off of it
it.
for a while, so.
Which is true. Had a little help. But I guess so. I mean, if they keep updating it, I feel like they're the type that wouldn't do it unless they knew they were going to get some money out of it.
Zombies are coming to Call of Duty Black Ops 4 next month. Zombies, yay. Okay.
Don't they always have a zombie mode?
Always. There's always a zombie mode.
Oh, so it's just releasing is the point. Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It wasn't the story. It wasn't the hey, there's zombies. It's
No.
it's coming out. So. Gotcha.
I'm sure Todd is ecstatic. I'm sure he's played. I know he's played it.
Hey,
You son
the
of a
only
bitch.
zombies mode I played was the one that Bruce Campbell was in. So I bought the game and bought the DLC
You are
just because.
such a shill
Guys,
for him.
it really is. It's a sickness. I probably should look for help, but thank God he's not in a lot of video games.
For now.
for my wallet.
The director of Star Wars Battlefront 2 said Battlefront 3 isn't happening anytime soon. To that I say, no shit. And while we're also talking about Star Wars, a new Lego Star Wars game was announced called Lego Star Wars Battles, which will feature all Star Wars characters ever and will hit mobile devices in 2020.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually thought it was a new game from the, I guess mixed in with the other one that they announced, because I think they announced a Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, which puts all the movies together. And I thought, well, why are you doing this? Because this clearly sounds like the same thing that you just were talking about doing, but now you're talking about doing it again, only sprinkling on others. I was confused. But no, this is a mobile game, not a console game. So
Okay.
separate things.
Gotcha.
And then finally, also in Star Wars news, ports of classic Star Wars titles are coming to the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4. On September 24th, Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast will hit digital stores. Then Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy will drop sometime in 2020, yet no word on pricing is available. I would assume if they wanted to be smart, it would be $20. No more than that.
Right.
Unless you're going to polish these games, and they kind of need it because they're old PC titles, so they're not as clean and nice. Yeah. Now, see, I actually had Jedi Knight 2 on, I think it was GameCube. It was a port. And it was fun for a while, and then I was just like, well, okay, I'm done. I lost interest because some of the game mechanics were just frustratingly terrible, because I wanted to play it. And I think I spent more time playing a multiplayer with computer characters just so I could swing around a lightsaber, because there was no other game I could do that. So I was like, yeah. So I just had fun with that.
Told you, man. You'd like Beat Saber.
Yeah, probably. But Jedi Academy, I actually had to think about this one. I feel like I did play a sliver of this. I don't think I owned it, but I had a demo or something like that. And I feel like in this game you could create your own lightsaber, and it was a little bit smoother, but I never could play that much of it because I didn't have a full launch of the game. But I'm gonna keep my eye on that one, because I feel like that was one I wanted to play but never got that deep into, and I might look into that one. We'll see.
We'll see how it turns out.
Now, while we're on the subject of EA, because EA released those games,
Yep.
They released an early access version of Plants vs. Zombies: The Battle for Neighborville And
I saw some of the gameplay of that today. That actually looks kind of cute.
this
Much different.
yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. I'm a purist. I like the original. This is just isn't doing it for me. Now, the game isn't set to officially release until October 18th, but right now you can play as a founding neighbor, which gets you the game for about $29.99 as opposed to the suggested retail of $39.99, and then you get additional perks like a Discord channel where you can talk to people. So
developers are really enjoying that now, though. I know they you start a game, you start a Discord. It's kind of the way it goes.
Which I guess is kind of neat, to talk to your...
I mean, at least it makes it a little more consolidated if people use it for, bugs, tips, maybe just to find people who are playing the game, especially if it's a multiplayer game.
Sure.
I could get that.
This may seem random, but I saw this and I wanted to bring it up because I want to shine a little light on it. There's a game called Untitled Goose Game that is going to release on September 20th for the Switch and PC via the Epic Game Store. I hadn't heard of it, but it reminded me so much of the aesthetic of Donut County that I want to play it. I love the art design. I love what I'm seeing. I want to play this game, so I can't play it. I mean, I probably could. I'd have to download that Epic Games thing, but
yeah, it's fine.
I just don't feel like I'm going to do that. Not that I have anything wrong with Epic, but I'm not going to complain.
I mean, it would have to be a game that I want to play. I mean, I've downloaded it because they do free games, and so far my PC has not caught on fire.
That's good. So I mean, this is one of those reasons I should get a Switch. But hopefully, maybe it'll make its way to...
Wait, it's Epic Game Store, but it's for the Switch?
It's for the Switch, and it's coming to the Switch and the PC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You had me confused there. I was like, did I miss you say an announcement about Epic taking over Switch or something?
No.
Or getting their
It'll be on the Switch, and then PC via the Epic Game Store.
Yeah, gotcha.
So I want to play this
for 30 seconds.
Yeah, I want to play this, but I would recommend all of you who have a Switch or the Epic Game Store thing, go check this game out and see if it's your cup of tea. Support the indie title. That's what I'm saying. Right. I want to shine a light on that. Did you hear that former Nintendo of America president Reggie Fils-Aimé has joined Cornell University's Dyson School of Applied Economics and Management as their inaugural leader in residence?
I have not.
Well, now you have.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's doing things. Old Reggie.
Yeah.
Good for him.
As long as he's happy.
Sure.
I enjoyed him. He was a pleasant fellow.
He was.
Or still is. I shouldn't say was. I'm sure he's still just as lovely.
Sure.
Talking about him in the past tense.
And finally, a sequel to last year's film reboot of Tomb Raider was announced, with Alicia Vikander returning as Lara Croft and Ben Wheatley as director, who, I'll be honest with you, I don't feel like he's done much of anything of note. He directed a movie called High Rise, which I remember hearing about. It had Tom Hiddleston in it. And then 2 episodes of Doctor Who would be the biggest things he's done.
Okay. Well, I mean, you gotta start somewhere, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not shitting on the guy.
But, like, which Doctor Who?
I don't know.
There's been a lot.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty vague.
Yeah. Somewhere.
It could be like 10 different versions.
Let's just say
okay.
some episodes within the last 5 years.
Okay.
I know that's
Maybe it
still
was the
kind
chick
of...
one. That's why people...
Could be.
What everybody got upset about.
But the film is set to release on March 19th, 2021. So if you were looking forward to it next year, you've still got another year to wait. And
I'll forget about it by then, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Hey, guess what? I've got some truth or trash this week.
I'm excited.
Now,
maybe I'll win something.
I'm really hoping that one of these things has not been announced or will not be announced within the time, because I feel like it should have been at this point, unless something has delayed it. But I'm hoping that it will not be announced yet, at least before Monday. And then after that, they can announce whatever the hell they want. Pennywise the Clown will be appearing in Fortnite.
Pennywise in Fortnite? Ooh. Like, part of me wants to say yes, because that would just be awesome. I mean, for someone who doesn't even play Fortnite, I would watch a match of someone playing it as Pennywise. But it's also for kids.
Sure.
So, like, part of me wants to be like, why would you put in a killer clown?
Why wouldn't you?
Well, I don't know if it would terrify them or not. Of course, that's assuming the kids have even seen the movies, which they probably shouldn't have.
No.
I'm gonna say trash, because
I mean, your
it seems like so weird.
Your argument was valid. I think that was a lot of the things that I heard when I saw this rumor. Is people like, this is for kids. What's wrong with you people?
Yeah, so, like it's geared towards children. Let's be real. Yes, adults play it, but like,
sure,
it's a young crowd, a young audience. My God, if that's true though, that's hilarious.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is it the Tim Curry version, or what's his name?
I'm sure it would be the more recent Bill Skarsgård.
Because that's even scarier.
Oh yeah,
because it's like CGI to look really bad, like scary. Anyway.
Yeah, I really want to see that movie though. I will say that.
I can't believe I haven't seen it yet either. I feel like such a piece of garbage, because like everyone's seen the first one and loved it, and I'm sitting over here going, I keep forgetting to watch it.
Why have you not watched
Anyway,
the first
I'm digressing.
one? I'm talking
That's
about the new
what I'm
one.
saying. No, I still haven't gotten around to the first one. I keep
Jeez.
just freaking forgetting about it. I hear it's great. I know.
Okay.
I hear this from everyone. I feel like I'm the last person who's not watched this movie.
It's fine. No, check it out whenever you can. I'm sure you can catch it on some.
I think it's on Amazon Prime. I have no excuse.
It's somewhere. It's always somewhere. The last one I have is the next. Yeah, here's another one of those grand rumors. The next Super Smash Brothers DLC character will be
Oh God.
Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden.
Sure.
I mean, it seems
I don't
like
have
a safe bet.
stake in either of those things, but that seems like a character we'd throw in, especially for the ones that I've been hearing about. Like, why not that guy?
And plus,
Why not?
he's an old Nintendo staple of the 8-bit days. So
There you go.
why
see?
not?
It makes sense.
I've got a little bit of weird news. I got one little thing. Are you
I like weird news.
Are you familiar with the name John St. John?
I mean, I have heard it.
Do you know who he is?
I don't know why now. No.
Do you know who Duke Nukem is?
Well, sure.
Well, John St. John is the voice of Duke Nukem.
Okay, then that might be why I've heard the name.
Of course. Now, we haven't seen Duke Nukem in a game for some time. It's been a while since anybody's even talked about Duke Nukem. And while fans are left waiting if they'll ever see their favorite womanizing macho action hero again, John can kind of make up for it if you want to hang out with him a little bit. But you got to have one little thing happening. If you're getting married,
Oh, God.
he can marry you. He's now an
that's
ordained minister. So Duke
course he
Nukem
is.
himself can officiate your wedding, and there you go. You can
How much does that cost?
Well, as of right now, his services are not public. Like, you would have to privately get to him. But I'm sure if enough fans clamored, some money would sway him, and he could do, some Duke Nukem themed weddings.
funny.
Not saying he's greedy. I'm just saying, hey, there's a business there to take advantage of.
Dude, whatever. Capitalize on it. If there's a market, do it. Like,
Do you
get some
take
use out of
this
that
chick?
$50 web ordained thing, whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's not hard. My husband's ordained too. He's performed weddings. There's a lot of people who went non-denominational these days, so it's just like, and I'm just trying to remember what the name, the Church of the blah 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 blah. Like, it's just something totally made up and stupid, but it's legal, and there you go. Dude,
But
that
I
would
could-
be cool. Duke
Yeah,
Nukem,
I mean,
for
and
sure.
you make it fun. You'd be
Now,
like,
does
you.
he dress up like Duke Nukem?
He would have to. He'd have to. Maybe just I'll add a little something ministry to it, but then just come up and be like, hey, let me tell you something, you sons of bitches. Here we're going to get married. Do you take this sumbitch right here, Oh, yeah. Kiss her,
I
baby. All right. I don't know.
I know. I
don't
feel
know.
like he stole Bruce's lines.
Yeah. Well,
To be like groovy.
I mean, come on. Bruce started it. Duke had to copy from something, so he took from the best.
I think that's always been the debate. Who took from who?
Mm-hmm. All right, let me go through some release dates. It's not as bad as last week, but there's still some release dates. So on September 9th, we have Path of Exile Blight for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Then on September 10th, because of the thing. I don't know what I was thinking. September 10th, I confused myself. Gears 5 is coming out on PC. It's already out on Xbox.
Okay, yeah.
Now it's out on PC.
Gotcha.
My brain was like, well, this is not right. It's right.
We've
It's
already
fine.
been playing this. What's going on?
Trials, Rising, Crash, and Sunburn for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Then we have The Walking Dead, the Telltale Definitive Series for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Blasphemous for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. eFootball PES 2020 for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. NHL 20 for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Greedfall for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. NASCAR Heat 4 for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Here's a word. Utawari Rumonozan. You're going to have to look that one up. For PlayStation 4, Grid for Xbox One, and Caravan Stories for PlayStation 4. Then on September 11th, I just made myself sad. Throne Quest Deluxe for Nintendo Switch. I'm sure there's a PC game out there, some shovelware piece of garbage that's releasing on that day, and it's terrible, and we're not going to talk about it.
Oh, yeah. You're probably right.
September 12th, we have Sydney Hunter and the Curse of the Mayans for Nintendo Switch. Newt 1 for Nintendo Switch. The 10th Line Special Edition for the Nintendo Switch. It has been, I'm sorry to keep diverting, it's been 18 years, 17 years. I guess it would be like a thing of the past by now. I mean, for some, not for me, not for you. I just mean some people don't even know what we're talking about. Like it doesn't even.
Oh, that's true.
I've never really thought about it. Huh.
It's been a long time. Yeah. Wow.
All right. Anyway, September 13th, we have Borderlands 3 for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Star Wars Pinball for Nintendo Switch. Ellen for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Daemon X Machina for Nintendo Switch. Light Fairy Tale Episode 1 for Xbox One. Rest in Pieces for Nintendo Switch. And Atomic Heist for Nintendo Switch.
Excellent.
There we go.
GG Switch.
Mm-hmm. It's time to play Name That Game. Okay. I feel like I got 3 good ones for you.
Nice.
They're interesting.
This is my week. Clean sweep.
All right. Here we go. The first game is like Pong on drugs. It's like a brick breaker game, but there's no bricks, and it's actually fun to play. It's really that good. And one button is all you need. Just press any button, and your paddle changes direction.
Any button.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's it. So simple, yet so fiendishly difficult. That's right. You will die a lot. Despite all the cool effects, upgrades, power-ups, and whatnot, the frantic gameplay will lead to multiple death, rewarding you with the catchphrase, "You is dead."
Oh, that is a reward.
Jump on board with this fun and exasperating game and try to do something amazing like beating the local high score in the game. Ha ha ha, you dumb bastard. That will never happen. You is dead.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
Is
This totally feels like a skit. We're going to have to talk after.
Yeah. Is this A, Depressing Pong. B. Frustrate a Ball. C. Baffle Bricks. Or D. Click, Play, Die.
I kind of want to go with Baffle Bricks because they're like, there is no bricks. And then I feel like that would be something they would do. There's no bricks, but let's name it. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with Baffle Bricks.
The answer is B. Frustrate a Ball.
I loved Frustrate a Ball the best. But with the way that the description was going,
You is dead.
no bricks, but yeah, I would have just been like, they totally named it bricks. All right.
All right. This next game is a stylized turn-based RPG where it is never your turn. Your sister was murdered by the priest of Ash, and you must avenge that murder. Traveling through 3 different environments. Only 3. You must interact with numerous characters, get to know them and the land around you. Then, gain a variety of powers in the form of prayer that will help you along the way. Test your wits through challenges and puzzles, resist the power of the spiritual, use your prayer powers to take down this murderer once and for all.
Oh, goody.
Is this A. Spirit Slayer, B. The Followers of Ash, C. The Power of Prayer, or D. Churchgoers?
Let's try generic. Followers of Ash. I think it was B.
Answer is D. Churchgoers.
Damn it. Damn it. Why do you people do this?
I don't know. It just seems so meh, for a title.
Oh my God. Yeah.
All right, this last one is an action-filled racing game featuring a variety of fluffy critters, 5 unique locations, 8-point streak rewards to add variety, and explosive physics-driven gameplay that allows players to blast opponents off the track and make them spiral through the air. It's that insane, but it's so cute.
Oh, is it though?
With 11 racers to choose from, why are you not playing right now? Go grab a puppy and get your ass out there.
Okay.
Is this A. Critter Kart,
Critter Kart,
B. Polypound Racers, C. Fluffy Speedway, or D. Wasakite?
Wasakite? Aren't we playing Pip Puppies?
Well, I think...
Did I miss something?
No, I think that was my fault. I kind of ad-libbed puppies at the end. So, yeah, don't focus on the puppies thing.
Don't focus on the Fluffy something. Fluffy races. I don't remember what
Fluffy
it was.
Speedway?
Fluffy's cute. Fluffy Speedway.
No, the answer is A.
Because they were said it was
A Critter Kart.
a Critter Kart. I liked Fluffy Speedway because it's so cute.
I did too, but they had to go their own way and call them critters.
Yep.
This ain't Ellie Mae from the Clampets, damn it.
Ain't my dinner.
Ain't my dinner. All right. Well, what are we doing this week? I'm going to tell you another story. I'm going to tell you another tale of way back when. Of course, this is not as long ago, but I think people have actually forgotten about this. Last week, we did a little quick history on Ultra Games, a shell corporation of Konami designed out of necessity to publish more games in America. Now, I suggested that the company's move was kind of slimy and deceptive, while you kind of argued it was a smart business move. You know.
I mean, it's still gross, but yeah, I could see why they did it.
And obviously, once the company served its purpose, it was tossed away. Now, this week, yeah, there we go. I'm sorry, I'm getting it all. This week, We're looking
Yes.
at another company that's tenure was much longer than Ultra Games, but yet still fell at the hands of Konami. Believe it or not. And that company was Hudson Soft. Does that ring a bell?
Oh, I feel like I do remember that. Weren't they more like learning games?
No, not necessarily.
No? Okay.
But if the name doesn't ring a bell, you may be familiar with its familiar bee icon. A little bee,
yeah.
and then it says Hudson beside it. The Hudson Bee is what
That's
they
what
call
I
it.
was. Yeah.
And I could see where you'd think it kind of had this kid's learning, because that does kind of have that feel to it, you know?
Yeah.
So I get it. Now, this company did not start in video games. Much like Nintendo, the company started in one trade and kind of evolved into something else over time. And they were founded on May 18th of 1973. Their initial trade was communications devices and photographic art. During their early years, the founders Yuji and Hiroshi Kudo struggled to keep the business afloat due to deceitful business partners screwing them out of money. Due to these struggles, the brothers attempted to shift their business into a new direction. So in 1975, Hudson began selling PC-related merchandise, and 3 years later, they actually began developing and selling packaging for video games. As Hudson Soft began getting their hands into the video game market, they began publishing for numerous computer platforms at the time, like the MSX and the ZX Spectrum. Do you remember those? I don't. Like, I know I've heard them, but I don't know what that is.
I did not. Yeah.
Hudson Soft would publish an average 30 titles per month, favoring
Holy crap.
favoring quantity over quality. That's a new game a day. That's insane.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. This approach actually led to lagging sales, as many of the titles that they shoveled into store shelves weren't very good. So there was really no...
I can't imagine how they would be.
Yeah. And I'm very curious to know what these titles were, to be honest. Like, what kind of crap did they just like, yep, slap it on there, go. So, eventually...
I feel like a ton of match 3 games.
Yeah.
Is what I'm envisioning. Like, what's the easiest to shove out there so fast?
Now, eventually they flipped their model, which led to Hudson Soft becoming Nintendo's very first third-party software vendor. The first title released by Hudson Soft on the original NES, or the Famicom, was Lode Runner in 1984 and sold about a decent 1.2 million copies. So it's not too bad.
All right.
Now, once the company began developing video games on a grander scale for numerous platforms, the company reorganized as Hudson Soft Co. Limited, and not long after the change, Hudson Soft saw its first big hit in the release of the game Bomberman. You know Bomberman? Ever heard Bomberman?
I do not.
I am familiar with it. I wouldn't say I've ever really played.
Sounds like a Mega Man villain, though.
Yeah, I mean, not far off. Bomberman. Bomberman.
Yeah.
So but Bomberman, I think, is like a puzzle type game. Like, you have to kind of like Minesweeper, but not quite like that. You know, where you have to set the bombs and it's got to destroy. I think that's what it is. I'm not 100% sure, but I think. And in fact,
I mean, it sounds reasonable.
yeah. And a nice little bit of trivia: the main character Bomberman was actually seen as a playable character in the game Lode Runner, which came out sometime before, or a year before, I think. So their very first game on the platform had Bomberman in it. There you go.
Okay.
There you go. It's fun.
Introducing their new people.
Now, over the next few years, Hudson would find itself with even more memorable titles and characters such as Adventure Island, which was a favorite of mine. I think the second and third I enjoyed more than I did the first. Because the first one was fine, but then they expanded and gave you little animals you could ride and stuff like that. Do you ever remember Adventure Island? Does that ring a bell?
It doesn't. But it doesn't mean I didn't play it.
Okay.
I have a garbage memory for, like, the names of games, developing teams, things like that. But show it to me and I might be like, yeah.
Well, he's wearing like a little, I don't want to say a skirt, but a grass skirt maybe. I think that's right. And he's got a hat, and he's got a little hatchet, and then you could ride a little skateboard, and it's just a platformer.
Oh, then no.
No?
I feel like that would ring a bell.
All right, well.
I feel like that would ring a bell.
I was hoping. Mylan's Secret Castle, which I absolutely hated because my brother and I tried playing this game and never could get anywhere with it. And we were just like, screw this game. It's stupid. I don't even know why we played it.
Why are we doing this to ourselves?
Faxanadu, which I have spoken about way, way back in the early days of this podcast, and I probably brought it up numerous times before. A game I loved. I would love for them to re-release it on something. I don't care. I want to play this game again. I want it in my hands where I can have it at all times. And they even got to make some licensed games, which, like with other characters, Disney characters mainly, from what I noticed, like Mickey Mousecapade, which is a game that my brother and I also had when we were kids. It was actually pretty fun. It's hard, but
that sounds cute.
Yeah, it's fun. Like the cool thing about it, like if you start to, this is the very first time my brother and I actually started learning strategy. Is you have Mickey Mouse and you have Minnie Mouse, so she's like your tag-along character, you know. But you can get her to do things for you. So if you can get 2 star powers. So you have to find like these little chests that'll have a star in it, and then you can start shooting things. And then you can find a second star, and then she can start shooting things, so you got 2 stars and everything. The thing about it is, Minnie cannot be hit unless you get hit. Okay? So that's where she gets damaged, hypothetically. So what you could do is you've got 2 tiers of a level, and there's a ladder going down, and maybe you've got an enemy down there you can't deal with, or it's hard to deal with. You make her go do it. You send her down the ladder, and then she can just sit there and shoot.
Just like how it always is.
Yep.
Saves your butt, you know.
And then there you go. And we were like, that's how me and my brother learned strategy. That's how we beat the game. We just like make Minnie do it. By God.
I tap out, man. Honey!
We learned all sorts of little tricks to beat that game like that. It was awesome. I liked it. Anyway, this growth led to a North American branch, Hudson Soft USA, which was established in 1988. Now, while all this was going on, Hudson actually was working on an additional secret project. Now, seeing as how the company was once focused on personal computer products, Hudson actually took that knowledge and collaborated with a company that was developing personal PCs at the time, like the others we mentioned, the NEC, which is, again, one I'm not familiar with at all. But they were developing the PC Engine, which, known stateside, is the TurboGrafx 16. Now, the console itself had decent success in Japan when it was released in 1987, being second only to Nintendo, but for some reason stateside never found the foothold that it did over there. I'm not really quite sure why. Now, some actually blamed it on deceptive marketing due to the claim that it was a 16-bit platform despite only having an 8-bit CPU. Others blamed the CPU itself for just performing poorly. But despite that, the PC Engine, or TurboGrafx, did have one achievement in introducing gamers to Bonk, of Bonk's Adventure. You know Bonk, right?
I have heard of that, yes. I don't think I've ever played it, but...
But, I mean, you know him, the little caveman boy.
Yeah.
Or whatever, with the big head. That's all that matters, as long as you know him. That's good.
Yep.
Now, while the system did not perform well outside Japan, within it thrived, leading Hudson to enhance the system further with the PC Engine SuperGrafx in 1989, then the PCFX in 1994. Due to the low interest of the TurboGrafx 16, these additional models were never released in the States. Now, while some may consider that to be a loss, I truly believe it was the right move. Now, as we have actually gotten accustomed to the 5-year model of the console lives, which we've actually seen dramatically extend in recent years, between the years of 1987 and 1994, there were 9 variations of the PC Engine available. So there was the original, there was the souped up one, there was one that had a screen on it, there was one that had a CD-ROM, usually upgrading or adding something within the system. But 9 variations in 7 years. I mean,
it almost sounds like everybody wanted to be the first to get a thing out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? With no regard to, like, in 6 months, this is.
But I mean, you think about that.
Very fast.
That's within that one console, like the TurboGrafx or the PC Engine, never had time to just be like, well, we've worn out our welcome. Like, no, upgrade it. Let's get another one out now. Because the technology's there. Just keep going. And not to mention, they also had 3 separate CD-ROM editions you could purchase. And, I'll give hell to Nintendo for all the peripherals they like to sell separately, but Hudson Soft, I feel like you would go bankrupt trying to stay ahead at that time.
Well, it's not like we didn't have a warning with the 30 games a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They will sell you, sell.
I mean, they were pumping them out, boy, let me tell you. So, and there was even one, as I was doing the research on a lot of these consoles, there was a Pioneer laser disc thing that actually contained the chip, the PC Engine chip within it. So it would play laser discs, but it could also play games, and it had controllers, but it was an entertainment device. It was like it was way ahead of its time if you really think about it. Just using the wrong technology, so to speak. Technology that was going to die. But it was well before anything like we've seen with the PlayStation 3, 4, and Xbox and stuff like that, where you could do multiple things on it. So it's kind of interesting that it existed at one time, but you can't tell me that was a cheap device. No way.
Right. Yeah. Especially then.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that thing was $1,000 plus. I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
Now, eventually Hudson Soft went back to developing games solely as opposed to the PC Engine, because that died off around 94, 95. And ironically, they developed more games for Nintendo than they did any other platform, despite trying to be one of its biggest competitors with the PC Engine. From the Super NES to the Wii, Game Boy to 3DS, Hudson Soft was a reliable game developer for many years and was even responsible for one of Nintendo's biggest long-standing hits, Mario Party. However, at the turn of the century, the company began to slowly fall apart, and ironically, to no fault of its own. The company's assets were actually invested in the Hokkaido Takashuko Takashuko.
That's the middle name?
See, I could say the Hokkaido Bank. I'm going to leave it there. I can say that. I've heard that enough times. I know how it's pronounced. That bank actually went bankrupt in 1997, and the impact of that left the company struggling to find alternate financing, thus they too would collapse. In 2000, the company decided to go public, which led to Konami purchasing a stock allocation of 5.6 million shares in August 2001, becoming the company's largest shareholder. Within the terms of this purchase, Hudson acquired the Sapporo division of Konami Computer Entertainment Studios and renaming it Hudson Studio. So it sounds like, hey, it's a win. We're getting back on track. But despite what would seem like a lifeline, I think many of the company veterans saw the writing on the wall. Because in 2004, co-founder Hiroshi Kudo left the company with other veterans of the company following suit not long after. By 2005, Konami held 54% of Hudson's stock, thus becoming its parent company. Hudson's game development had slowed to a crawl, with most of their releases during this time being relegated to Mario Party sequels, Bomberman sequels and variants, and games that could easily be labeled as asset flips, like My Aquarium for WiiWare. Did you ever see that? This was like, no. I checked it out and I was like, oh, cool. What is this? It's just an aquarium for you.
Sounds like a screensaver of a sort.
It's not far from that.
Like how you have a fireplace burning on your TV or something? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's essentially that, yeah. Around 2010, 2011, many of Hudson Soft employees had migrated to Nintendo's IndieCube subsidiary. Get it? IndieCube? IndieCube?
Oh. It took me, I was like, what do you mean? Now I feel like a dumbass.
No, it's fine. And funny enough about that studio is it was headed by a former president of Hudson Soft. So, ta-da.
Oh, wow.
Eventually, Hudson Soft became a subsidiary of Konami, and less than a year after that, merged with Konami Digital Entertainment. Despite being a voluntary merger, one might suspect that those in charge at Hudson Soft knew it was only a matter of time. Because essentially they're gone. Because once they merged, there is now no longer a Hudson Soft. Now, despite only being gone for 7 years now, it feels much longer to me because Konami promised to keep Hudson's brand alive. You know, you got your Little B, you got your games, you got your Bombermans and your Adventure Islands and all these things that people remember, but nothing ever came of it. They shut down their website, they shut down their brand. In fact, Konami was so desperate to destroy Hudson Soft that they sold their long-standing home of business, the Sapporo building, in 2015. And, and while Hudson's name wasn't plastered all over it, Konami has actually taken full credit for the release of the TurboGrafx 16 Mini that's coming out next year. They're like, it's ours, we did it, Konami, us. So the bee is no more. It pollinated its last flower. And it's funny, it's funny they didn't consider a train as their mascot. I know a bee is a little bit more friendly and whatnot, but they could have done like a bullet train and be like Hudson, whoosh, flashing through, because the company itself was actually named after Hudson locomotives since the brothers were train enthusiasts. So that's where they got their name. And this could have been a story of two men who started off on the right track, went full steam ahead, found themselves on the wrong side of the track, and eventually derailed. And unfortunately, there was no...
They didn't have a Steven.
That's right. They unfortunately had no light at the end of their tunnel, just the end of the line. That's all. Did you like all those train puns?
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, when you put it all like that, it seems like a much better business strategy or marketing strategy.
I mean, it would have.
And it would have been a bunch of, I don't know, spelling games on a train 30 times a month.
But yeah, that's the history of Hudson. If you're unaware of the company with the B, now you know.
F to pay respects.
Mm-hmm. And see, there's two things. Look at what Konami's doing. Bastards.
I tell you, they're not looking at a good light right now. After these last 2 weeks of the podcast, you're like, you know what, Konami, we're on to you, man. Or you are.
I am, yeah.
I'm listening.
Somebody might be wondering why I seem to be taking a pot shot at Konami right now. I'm not. I just, I was doing my research on these stories.
Now, next week, though, when you really break down...
I'm going to have to go for the trilogy, the Konami story, the evil of Konami 3, or whatever.
Noir style,
So.
Oh, yeah, man.
But, yeah, that's all I got. That's our show. You can hit us up sometime via Twitter at Super Mega Crash. You can send us an email at supermegacrash@gmail.com. If you got anything to say about the Hudson story, if you know any facts that I may have overlooked or left out. I tried cramming as so much I could because the train thing didn't really fit in until I found a spot at the end because I felt like that was in.
You're like, I want to run with this, damn it.
Yeah, I'm going to make this work.
Keep this into my story.
So I found a way. You can find us on Instagram and view our weekly icon art. This is another favorite of mine. I feel like I ran out of
They're all so good.
I enjoy doing them. I like having fun with it. And last week's, where I got to do all the Ultra characters together, this week you get to see all the Hudson characters, or at least as many as I could find to put in there, because they don't come easy, people.
You don't have enough room.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I made room. It's just I felt like I guess there's that moment where you look at it and you're just like, it feels so empty, but then you look at it and it's like, it's really not. So even if I crammed in more, it probably could have looked more crowded than it needed to be, and it's probably fine. Right. I just felt like it was like, I could probably, there's one more here, one more there. It's fine. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. It's fine. But anyway, go check those out on the Instagram. Support the show by pressing like buttons, leaving reviews on your preferred platforms, and even going to patreon.com/Pencil and Paper Productions. You can tell your friends to find us on the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network, found on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, and even youtube.com/Pencil Paper Productions. Thank you so much for listening. I am Stephen White.
I'm Lacia Fidley.
Join us again next week, Super Mega Crash Siblings. But until then, game on.
This has been a Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.